We'll evaluate all participants based on professionalism, respect for the law, and communication at the end. Stay tuned to see how everyone fares.
19 years of age. She told the front desk that she was a resident. She is now banging on a door.
This opening sequence immediately introduces potential legal issues. By falsely identifying herself as a resident and attempting to gain unauthorized access, the woman's actions could be considered criminal trespassing. In Florida, under Statute 810.08, this is defined as entering property without authorization or invitation. Legal context. Falsely presenting oneself to gain access could also lead to charges of fraud in some jurisdictions. In this case, while the intent appears emotional rather than malicious, the legal system still imposes consequences for such behavior. Supporting case, State v. Dye, 1983, this case highlights that intent does not necessarily negate the act of trespassing, as the presence alone without permission can satisfy the statute. Asterisk. Public education. Always ensure proper permissions before entering any property. Mistakes or emotional responses can escalate to legal issues.
While I was at the front desk, and she said that her and her boyfriend went through a breakup.
While emotional distress is common, especially during a breakup, it does not exempt individuals from accountability for their actions. The law recognizes emotional states but holds everyone to the same standards of conduct. Legal context. If someone's emotional state leads to property damage or physical altercations, they could face additional charges, such as vandalism or assault. Education example, disturbing the peace laws under California Penal Code Section 415 are designed to address emotional outbursts in public spaces that escalate to disruptive behavior. Understanding and managing emotions in difficult times is crucial to avoiding legal consequences. Seeking professional help or counseling is an important step for those struggling emotionally. Here, we see the officers being verbally provoked. While free speech is protected under the First Amendment, there are legal limitations. Speech that incites violence or disrupts public order can lead to charges. Legal context. Under Florida Statute 877.03, disorderly conduct includes behavior that breaches peace, which may involve obscene language directed at others in a public setting. Case reference, Cohen v. California, 1971, this Supreme Court case established that while most speech is protected, certain types of speech, such as those inciting immediate harm, are exceptions. Asterisk. The officers demonstrated restraint by not escalating the situation despite the suspect's verbal provocations. This aligns with de-escalation policies that prioritize maintaining order without unnecessary force.
Stop moving.
Put your hands behind your back!
When officers give lawful commands, compliance is essential. Failure to comply, even without violence, can result in charges of resisting arrest without violence under Florida Statute 843.02. Education value. Resisting arrest without violence is a charge often misunderstood by the public. It doesn't require physical resistance, simply refusing to follow commands qualifies. This reinforces the importance of cooperation with law enforcement to avoid additional legal complications. The officers' repeated and clear commands demonstrate professionalism and adherence to procedural standards outlined in Graham v. Connor, 1989, which dictates that police actions must be objectively reasonable under the circumstances.
She is not a student.
The discovery that the individual is not a student removes any potential justification for her presence on the premises. This confirms the legitimacy of trespassing charges. Legal context. Under property laws, universities and private properties have specific guidelines for access. Gaining entry under false pretenses can escalate to a more serious form of trespassing. Case example, People v. Garcia, 2005, this case emphasized that intent to deceive while accessing restricted areas aggravates trespassing charges. Asterisk. Public education. Unauthorized access to restricted areas can result in serious charges. Always verify access rights, especially in secured or private properties.
Stand up! Are we done? Yeah.
The persistence of disruptive behavior even in custody highlights the legal consequences of failing to de-escalate. Such actions can lead to additional charges and may be used against her in court to demonstrate a pattern of behavior. Legal education. Disorderly conduct in custody environments disrupts operations and poses safety risks. Many detention centers have policies that allow for immediate sanctions or additional charges for such behavior. The officers continued to act professionally and maintained control of the situation, demonstrating adherence to procedural guidelines. This final outburst underscores the emotional volatility of the individual. While her distress is apparent, the legal system focuses on actions, not intent. Legal education. Legal defenses often fail when the defendant's actions clearly violate public peace statutes, regardless of their emotional state. Public advice. If you or someone you know is dealing with emotional distress, seek professional help or mediation services to avoid escalation into criminal behavior. Now that we've analyzed the events, here are the ratings based on professionalism, respect for the law, and communication. These scores are a reflection of the participants' behavior and adherence to legal and ethical standards during the incident.